So in this unit, let us discuss these are the topics: VSEPR theory, valence bond theory, orbital overlap, and hybridization. The first one is VSEPR theory. So why do you need this theory? So VSEPR theory will be useful in predicting the shape of molecules. So last class we have seen the Lewis dot structure and Lewis concept of structure of molecules. They deal with the relative position of atom in the molecules and the sharing of electron pairs between them. However, they cannot predict the shape of the molecules using Lewis concept. That's why the Lewis theory in combination with the VSEPR theory for getting the shape of molecule, right? So point number 1, the shape of the molecules depends on the number of valence shell electron pair around the central atom, right? Point number 2, there are two types of electron pairs, namely bond pair and lone pair. So we have known very well bond pair and lone pair electrons. The bond pair of electrons are those shared between two atoms, while the lone pair are the valence electron pairs that are not involved in bonding. So the bond pair only involved in bonding. So the bonding, what are the electrons involved? That is called bond pair. Lone pair electron does not involve in bonding, right? Point number 3, each pair of valence electron around the central atom repels each other, right? So hence they are located as far away as possible in the three-dimensional space to minimize the repulsion between them. So point number 4, the repulsive interaction between the different types of electron pairs in the following order. So here given LP, LP and LP BP and BP BP. So what is the meaning? LP means lone pair interaction is greater than lone pair bond pair interaction, then greater than bond pair interaction. So in a molecule, lone pair electrons are present means the interaction will be greater, right? For example, water molecule, oxygen gas, 2 lone pair. So that's why the water molecule will not give the linear shape, it gives inverted V shape, right? Because the lone pair, the bond pair oxygen, the bond between oxygen and hydrogen is pushing down. The lone pair of electrons are localized only on the central atom and interacts with only one nucleus, whereas bond pairs are shared between two atoms and they interact with the two nuclei. Because of this, the lone pair occupy more space, have greater repulsive force than the bond pair in a molecule. Okay, regarding this theory, some example shape of the molecules we can find it. The shape of the molecule is linear, the first one. So number of electron pair 2. So actually the molecule type AB2 type. Number of bond pair. So 2 bonds are having. So 2. Lone pair is nothing. So it is nil. So molecular geometry linear. So what are the examples? Beryllium chloride. Then mercury chloride. Carbon dioxide. Carbon disulfide. Hydrogen cyanide. Beryllium fluoride, right? These are the examples for giving linear molecule. Then AB3 type. AB3 type, 3 bond pair, 3 bonds are having, so no lone pair. right? The structure trigonal planar geometry. So boron trifluoride, boron trichloride, then NO3 minus, right? Boron trifluoride and carbonate 2 minus. Then Ab2L type molecule. Here we can find 2 bond pair, 1 lone pair. So the 1 lone pair it is given is like this. It shows like a orange color shadow, right? The lone pair. So what are the molecules? Geometry, molecular geometry, bent or V shape. So what are the molecules? SO2 sulfur dioxide, ozone, and lead chloride, stannous bromide. Okay. By using the VS-EPR theory, we can get the shape of the molecules how will be. Now, let us discuss valence bond theory. Valence bond theory. So, consider a situation wherein two hydrogen atoms, hydrogen A atom and hydrogen B atom, are separated by infinite distance. At this stage, there is no interaction between these two atoms, and the potential energy of the system is arbitrarily taken as 0. So at this stage, there is no interaction between these two atoms, hydrogen A and hydrogen B. As these two atoms approach each other, in addition to the electrostatic attractive forces between the nucleus and its own electron, the purple arrow show that the attractive force between nucleus and its own electron. The purple arrow is here, right? Is here. Okay. Now, the new attractive forces, the green arrow arises between nucleus of Ha and valence electron of Hb. So here too, nucleus to Ha nucleus to Hb valence electron. Likewise, Hb nucleus to Ha valence electron. The nucleus of Hb and valence electron of Ha. Now the new repulsive forces, red arrow arises between, red arrow is given, the nucleus of Ha and Hb. The valence electron of Ha and Hb, right? So the same manner, attractive forces and repulsive forces occurs, right? Now, the attractive forces tend to bring Ha and Hb atom together, whereas the repulsive forces tends to push them apart. At the initial stage, as the two hydrogen atoms approach each other, the attractive forces are stronger than the repulsive forces. Then the potential energy decreases, right? A stage is reached where the net attractive forces are exactly balanced by the repulsive forces and the potential energy of the system acquires minimum energy. So regarding this valence bond theory, what are the salient features we will see. So point number 1, when half-filled orbitals of two atoms overlap, covalent bond will be formed between them. So the covalent bond how will be formed, right? When half-filled of orbitals of two atoms overlap means we can get the covalent bond. So point number 2, the resultant overlapping orbital is occupied by two electrons with opposite spin. For example, when hydrogen is formed, two oneness electron of two hydrogen atom get pair up and occupy the overlap orbital. So two hydrogen atoms going to make a bond means they are going to give a molecule. So each hydrogen 1s1, so 1 electron involved in the bonding. Point number 3, strength of a covalent bond depends upon the extent of overlap of atomic orbital. So greater the overlap, large is the energy released and stronger will be the bond formed. So overlap is greater means bond will be very strong, right? Then one more point, each atomic orbital has a specific direction except s orbital, because s orbital is a spherical shape. Except spherical shape remaining p orbital, d orbital, f orbital have direction, right? So hence orbital overlap takes place in the direction that the maximum is the overlap. So let us discuss orbital overlap. Orbital overlap. Here we can find the example. Two hydrogens are going to make a bond. It is overlapping. So s orbital and s orbital. Here head-on overlap. When two atomic orbital overlap linearly along the axis, the resultant bond is called sigma bond. So two hydrogen make a bond means the bond is sigma bond. The two atomic orbital overlap in the sideways, the resultant wave bond is called a pi bond. Here we can get a only sigma bond. It is not a pi bond. So pi bond example we will see, right? Okay, formation of fluorine molecule. So just now we have seen the formation of hydrogen molecule. The fluorine molecule, so we have known very well the electronic configuration of fluorine, 1s2, 2s2, 2p5, 2p5. The outermost alone we can get it 2s2, 2p5. The 2p5, that orbital, so split into 3, we can write it 2px1, 2py, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1, right? So the outermost orbit we can find the 7 electron, the last electron present in 2pz orbital, that orbital only I have given with 1 electron. So each fluorine has one electron, right? Now the p orbital overlapping. When the half-filled pz orbital of two fluorine overlaps along the z axis, the sigma covalent bond, because it is head-on overlap, right? It is not a side overlap, head-on overlap only. So sigma bond is forming. So in the same way, formation of hydrofluoric acid, hydrogen fluoride molecule, right? So hydrogen 1 electron, 1s1, fluorine, the 2pz orbital, 1 electron, right? So when the half-filled 1s orbital of hydrogen linearly overlap with the half-filled 2pz orbital of fluorine, a sigma covalent bond is formed between hydrogen and fluorine. This is also sigma, direct overlap, head-on overlap, right? Then one more example we see, formation of oxygen molecule O2. The oxygen electronic configuration, oxygen atomic number 8, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p4, right? The 2p4, how can we write it? 2s2, 2p2 and 2py1 and 2pz1. So py orbital and pz orbital, each one have one electron, right? So oxygen 1 and oxygen 2. Now we can find it head-on overlap sigma bond and sideway overlap pi bond also we can get it. So one sigma bond, one pi bond. So between two oxygen, two bonds will be obtained. One is sigma bond, another one is pi bond. Right? Sigma bond and pi bond. Next, hybridization. Hybridization is a process of intermixing of atomic orbital of the same atom with the comparable energy to form an equal number of new equivalent orbital with the same energy. Right? For example, s orbital combined with the p orbital. So one p orbital means sp hybridization. One s orbital, two p orbital means sp2 hybridization. One s orbital, three p orbital combined means sp3 hybridization. Right? Now we see sp hybridization. sp hybridization. So now consider the bond formation in beryllium chloride. Beryllium chloride. So beryllium atomic number 4. So 1s2, 2s2. That is the electronic configuration. It is in ground state. The outermost alone 2s2, because outermost electron only involved in the bond forming. So 2s2, it is in ground state, right? Now we can get the excited state. Excited state means what? The beryllium is ready to make a bond. Ready to make a bond with the chlorine. So beryllium chloride. That's a molecule, right? So what is the state of the electron? The 2s2, the 2 electron, one of the electron goes to the 2px orbital. So one electron move to the 2px orbital, that is excited state. So now we can get two unpaired electron. So now one s orbital, one electron, p orbital, one electron involved in bonding. That's why sp hybridization. Clear? So one s electron and one p electron involved in bonding. That's why we can say sp hybridization. Now how will be the structure? The sp hybridization we can find it. Here one electron from beryllium and one electron from chlorine. So make a bond. Right? Head-on overlap, sigma bond. Here also head-on overlap, sigma bond. The structure is linear, beryllium chloride. Now sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridization. So consider boron trifluoride. Boron trifluoride. Boron atomic number 5. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. 2p1. So the outermost orbital on I have given 2s2, 2p1. It is in ground state. Ground state means before react with the fluoride, boron condition. Now the boron is ready to react with the fluorine. So what is the condition? The one electron goes to the 2py orbital. So now we can get three unpaired electron, one s electron and two p electron. So sp2 hybridization, one s orbital, one electron, p orbital, two electron involved in bonding. So sp2 hybridization, totally three unpaired electron. The three unpaired electron involved in bonding. That's why we can get it. This kind of structure. Here these three orbital lie in the same xy plane. The angle between the two orbitals is equal to 120 degree. Here we can measure the angle 3 side we can measure it 120 degree, right? These three sp2 hybridized orbitals of boron now overlap with the 2 pz orbital of fluorine, 3 atoms, right? So 2 pz of fluorine, 3 atoms involved in bonding with the boron. They give sp2 hybridization. Third one, the next sp3 hybridization. sp3 hybridization, 1 s orbital and 3 p orbital involved in the hybridization. For example, methane, we can see that. So methane, 1 carbon is bonded with 4 hydrogen. So carbon atomic number 6, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? So outermost 2s2, 2p2, outermost alone we can write the electronic configuration 2s2 and 2p2, right? It is in ground state. Now the 4 hydrogen is going to make a bond with the carbon. So what is the state? The exit state. The one of the electron goes to the 2pz orbital. So total number of electron, 4 electron we can get it. So 1 electron from 1s orbital and 3 unpaired electron from 3p orbital. px, 2px, 2py, 2pz. So total number of electron 4, 1s and 3p, right? So what is the structure? It's a tetrahedral structure. The 1s orbital of a 4 hydrogen, s orbital shape is spherical shape. Spherical shape comes from 4 hydrogen, right? Overlap linearly with the 4 sp3 hybridized orbital of carbon to form 4CH sigma bond in methane molecule, right? Now bonding in ethylene. So ethylene structure we have known it, CH2 double bond CH2, it is ethylene structure. At the middle we can find double bond, one is sigma bond, another one is a pi bond, right? Okay, now the carbon electronic configuration, outermost orbit 2s2, 2p2, it is in ground state. Now the excited state, 1 electron goes to the 2pz orbital. We can get 4 unpaired electron, right? The last 2pz electron alone, it's separated because it is involved in pi bond, right? Sideways overlap. Okay, now 1 s orbital and 3 p orbital, 2 p orbital and 1 is separated, right? So sp2 hybridization, the 1 electron is separated, so involved in pi bonding. So 1s and 2p sp2 hybridization in carbon. The unhybridized 2pz orbital of both carbon atom can overlap only sideways. They are not involved in the molecular axis. This lateral overlap result in the formation of pi bond between 2 carbon atom, right? The structure we see, the CH2 double bond, CH2 carbon, 2 hydrogen involved in sigma bond. Here right side also 2 hydrogen involved in sigma bond with the carbon. At the middle 1 sigma bond, 1 pi bond. So total number of sigma bond 3 sigma bond, 1 pi bond present in ethylene, right? So next we move to the bond in acetylene. Acetylene structure, CH triple bond CH, CH triple bond CH, Now directly we can write the excited state. So just now we have seen the excited state. Here one s orbital and one p orbital involved in the hybridization. So carbon electronic configuration 1s to 2s to 2p2. The one electron goes to the 2pz orbital. Even though it goes to the 2pz orbital, the 2py and 2pz make pi bond. S orbital electron and p orbital 2px orbital electron alone involved in sigma bond. So sp hybridization. So last 2py and 2pz separated because involved in pi bond. Pi bond means sidewise overlap. Now the structure we see CH triple bond CH, 2 sigma bond. The bond is between carbon and hydrogen sigma bond, carbon and carbon sigma bond, right? Here also carbon and hydrogen sigma bond. So 3 sigma bond, not 2, 3 sigma bond and 2 pi bond, 2 pi bond. So each carbon, when we consider the each carbon means 2 sigma bond, 2 pi bond. Each carbon consider means 2 sigma bond, 2 pi bond electrons are having. Thank you.